data exchanges, and certainly, as I was doing my research, there's almost like a, confusion amongst many people between data marketplace and what is a data exchange. So I thought maybe we can clarify that topic for everyone. So what is the difference, and what specifically is data exchange?
Yeah, and that's a great way to start, because I agree. When I first started to really explore this topic, I had my own preconceived definitions of what it was and wasn't. And I think some of the vendors that offer marketplaces and exchanges sort of add to a little bit of that confusion. So let me give you the Maria Villar definition. So a data exchange is a platform. It's a digital platform for data suppliers and data consumers to get together. And, in today's world, a data exchange can exchange either public data, government data, open data, private data. It can be for a fee, or it could be just, an exchange of like. So it can be a general purpose platform. What I see as a data marketplace is almost a store on top of it. And usually a data marketplace, whether it's an individual, whether it's a general purpose marketplace or it has very specialized data, that's available for a transaction. So usually a marketplace then has a financial component to it. And so think of it as the exchange is almost a foundation underneath it, as a multi-use platform of which you can build a data marketplace, or you can build a private exchange, or you can build an open exchange. So that's the way I think about it. But just another twist to this is that a data exchange can also be data exchange providers. So the platform providers that let companies then take that platform and build on it, and or they can data exchanges could also be the content provider themselves. So that's why it's a little bit confusing, and it's one of the, I guess, key advices to CDOs to make sure when you start exploring what you're going to do with this in this topic, that you really understand what that provider does or does not do within what you're looking for.
I think that's a really key point you just said, Maria, and I've read this as well, as really being able to understand the data that's in the exchange or marketplace and understand what use cases you can get out of it. So knowing that data and knowing what best use cases are available. So I know this is for the next 25, 30 minutes, we'll be talking more about this topic. And if anyone in the audience has any questions for us, please feel free to put it in the chat box. So just wanted to mention that as well. So I know there's been certainly a talk about growth in the marketplace and specifically exchanges, but what about post-COVID? Certainly there are a lot of reasons why having standardization in these types of data exchanges is important. So Maria, can you talk more about what the benefits are of a data exchange during this time?
Yeah, and before we jump to COVID, I did want to also just talk about why are data exchanges growing in general, because they're not just COVID, but I mean, buying third-party data is nothing new, right, Peggy? Both you and I know that, being in the profession that we are, we've been doing that for years. But what's happening is that the ability to be able to find, buy, and use that data is becoming more and more important. So it started off in the financial industry where they needed a lot of this data for risk management, right, and applications like that. And then as other business drivers came into the fold, like things like, well, now we had the capability to have big data, unstructured data, social media data. There was now an insatiable demand for other kinds of data, and that also started to get the data marketplaces to grow, especially with customer 360 kind of initiatives. Now we have AI and ML and predictive analytics, and all of that needs data to fuel the models. And then on top of that, and this is another really interesting business trend that's driving the data exchange growth, is monetization. So as companies are trying to figure out, well, what's my data worth? Is it worth something? How can I make money? They're really starting to then use these data marketplaces and data exchanges to kind of test out whether or not their data has an audience and is valuable. Now we bring COVID. So COVID, I believe, is another driver for the use of data marketplaces and data exchanges. And it kind of relates to the reasons why you needed that third-party data to begin with. But more importantly, COVID is causing new normals, right? New buying behaviors, new customer behaviors, new employee behaviors, new supply chain limitations, new environmental and economic impact. And much of that is not available inside your company. And so you need all of this new data that's available by in these marketplaces and third-party vendors in order to now supplement your existing legacy data. So COVID is making it more important to see real-time data and new and interesting data. The other COVID impact is there's a lot more data collaboration than there was before.